Hey guys, it's Gonzo. Today we're going to be talking about how to pretty much make yourself in real life as if it were an avatar in a video game. I originally recorded this talk as a live action video, and I didn't want to really put that out yet, so I just recorded it and I edited it for audio only. So just enjoy the gameplay if you're watching, or just enjoy the audio if you're just listening. Thank you.
Today I want to talk about something that I've thought about for a long time, and something I really want to just get out there into words, and that is your avatar, right? When we think of avatars, we think about in the video game, right? Whether it's VR Chat, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, or even just like your MSN avatar, your Avi, your profile pic, your PFP, right? Even hear me out, even your fursona, okay? Not your Sonic OC, we're not talking about that, but even your fursona, right? To an extent. When we make a avatar in a game, we know what's going on, right? You're sitting there scrolling through all the options and checking every single possible combination that you like, and even looking at the combinations that you don't even like. But even then, it's very limited, right? Sometimes you're even limited to just the colors, or even just the face, or even just pants or shorts and no in between, flip-flops or sandals or shoe or boot, but that's it, right? But how many times, despite all the limitations, have we run into our perfect avatar, right? This is the avatar that I want to represent me in this game, whether it's online or just I'm the only one who's going to see it because I'm playing offline in single player mode, right? But what if we did that in real life? You know, I know it sounds weird, and it sounds like that I'm trying to recreate Avatar the movie, not that one, or that one. Oh wait, it was the one with the blue guys, right? The Avatar movie. James Cameron Diaz? Something like that. But essentially, they were a different person. Like, they became their avatar. They became something that represented them in a different dimension. But what about the dimension that we're living in, right? I have free choice and I have free will to pretty much dress however I want. Not all the time, because in my job there are OSHA regulations, and I don't want to fight OSHA for wearing this, right? Because this isn't OSHA approved. I need to be fire retardant, right? Cat 2, you know what I mean? Shout out to my Cat 2 cats out there. My two Cat 2 cats. No, I don't have any cats. But if I did, they would be two Cat 2 cats. Cat 2 Cat 2. Anyway, two cats that are Cat 2 rated, and you know, if you know what that means, you know what it means. If you don't, I don't really expect you to know what that means. It pretty much just means you're retardant in the fire aspect, right? It's hard to catch you on fire. But even with a limitation, right? Wait, we heard about limitations before. Limitations in video games where we only have a certain amount of clothing, we only have a certain amount of colors, right? How far can we take that in real life? We can pretty much do whatever we want in real life. I've seen so many different shirts. You go into Spencer's now and you see a bunch of shirts about gooning and having that dog in you, when in the shirt it's a furry dog. And I hope it's not in a sexual manner, but I hope it's talking about like your fursona that lives inside you in a wholesome way, right? But we have so much free will to dress however we want. We have so much free will to customize our avatar however we want. There's so many people I've seen in the past where, oh yeah, this is my avatar, this is my fursona, isn't it really cool? And then they got like these aviator glasses that look like Ted Bundy, and they're wearing a polo that hardly fits them. It's like, dude, if you put half the work into your real life outfit, as your persona or your video game character, then you could probably feel pretty good about yourself, especially if you're feeling self-conscious. Because I feel like a lot of times I've kind of done my own research about self-image versus real life image versus what we wish we could be and everything. And there's nothing wrong with having an avatar that represents you. There's nothing wrong with having a persona. There's only some things wrong with having a Sonic OC, but a lot of the times I've seen it's kind of projection, the projection of self, because I'm not happy with myself right now in my real life, so I'm going to become who I want to be in this fantasy version of me. I can be whoever I want, right? And I've definitely seen that in VR chat. I spent a lot of time in VR chat, and I had talked to a lot of people where, oh yeah, I really like this avatar because it makes me feel like I can be something that I'm not. A lot of people that I've met were really short. They're actually like 6 foot tall in real life, or people who are 6 foot tall in the game and they're actually really short in real life. But that kind of parallels between real life and fantasy. And I want to argue that because just like in fantasy, in digital platforms, there are limitations. And what makes that different from real life? If you're not 6 foot tall in real life, guess what? You just got a limitation given to you. So don't get too upset about it. It's something you couldn't control. It's like just a part of the game, right? So let's kind of work around that. What do you want to be? In the words of Oingo Boingo himself, who do you want to be today? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be today? Why have you dressed like someone on TV? And if that's someone you want to be, then go ahead. I can argue that to a point, because if you're becoming someone that you're not, then that's obviously a problem. If you are going out of your way to dress up in all black and have like very tactical pants and very tactical boots and wearing an armored chest plate that says police on it when you're not actually a cop, you just want to pretend to be a cop, that's a big issue. Okay, that's a really big issue. That's actually illegal from what I've heard. But like me right now, I have longer hair, I have these glasses, I have painted fingernails, I'm wearing a shirt with one of my favorite games on it, and you can get this nowhere because it's something that I made myself a couple years ago, and I just am wearing it until it falls apart. It's something that I wanted, right? The limitations of my avatar creation was I don't have a shirt with something that I want on it, so I made a shirt with something that I wanted on it, right? And that comes back around to like the OSHA regulations, right? I'm probably gonna have to find a shirt, but I really like self-expression. I really like color. I really like the color blue and teal and every shade of cyan and turquoise, right? That's just a personal preference, right? But they don't have that many colors in fire retardant clothes. They don't have that many colors in work gear, right? You have like white, black, maroon, Dr. Pepper color, I guess, and then a blaze orange or a blaze yellow, and maybe even like khaki, right? There's not very many colors. I challenged that and I went out of my way to dye some of my clothes. And as long as you're not treating your clothes with bleach, or at least in my scenario, if you're not treating your clothes with bleach or harsh chemicals, then you should be good. It's not going to interfere with the fire retardant properties of the clothing. Let's take a look here. I bought the white Carhartt shirts that's Cat 2 rated, and I just dyed them. I did a little tie-dye job on them with some blues and magentas. There's this other one. This one's more red, white, and blue because, you know, that America type shit. That'll be a discussion for another day. But I can put some color on and just be more expressive while I'm still OSHA certified and still OSHA safe, right? I even went out of my way because one day I went down to the website where we get our clothing and I saw overall, and they had a dark, like navy blue overall. And you know what I did? I got one of these white shirts and I dyed it purple. And one thing at work is we have to wear hats. And as long as we have a bump cap, it's just a little insert that acts like a low level hard hat, I guess. And it'll protect your head from some damage, not all damage, but some. Especially like just bonking your head on something. Anyway, I got a Waluigi hat, and I had this purple shirt, and I had these navy blue overalls, and I had an OSHA certified Waluigi cosplay that I would wear to work on Waluigi Wednesdays. Why? Because I could. This isn't always applicable to every job. If you're at a job where you wear nothing but suits and shirts and stuff, try a different tie, or try a bow tie. Try something that's not going to be too distracting from your job or keep you from doing your job, but also that's self-expressive and that you would be able to feel comfortable. I mean, consider it like your loadout for work. Consider it your loadout for doing your job, right? You can't be at work wearing a full fursuit, but how can you incorporate some of those aspects into your work uniform? Some places like retail, obviously you can't really do much. Maybe you could get some like lapel pins, or maybe you could get a fancy tie with your special interest. We all have one. Or maybe you could get like, maybe you wear a vest at work. I wear a vest at work, and I wear patches on the vest. I actually set it up so it was Velcro and I could swap the patches whenever I want. As long as it's not making HR mad, I don't understand why it would be an issue, right? I want to be self-expressive and be able to do my job with pride, because if I feel good about myself, I'm going to feel good about doing my job, right? I mean, it's hard to do that in the military. Yeah, don't try it in the military. You're gonna get yelled at. I've definitely tried some things, and I think the craziest thing I did was, don't tell anybody, but I wore socks that weren't just black. I wore socks that were whatever design that I wanted, and nobody knew. So yeah, I'm a total shitbag. But it was something that I felt good about. That was something that I looked forward to every day. And, you know, just I did what I could to be self-expressive. And what's the worst that can happen? Your boss says, hey, don't do that. Okay, sorry boss, I won't wear a tail to work. Please don't wear a tail to work. Oh my god. Yeah, try wearing a patch, wearing a pin, wear something that you feel good about, something that showcases a little bit more of yourself. Again, don't make HR mad. Oh, but this doesn't even apply to just work. This applies to like regular life. You know, I've seen plenty of people go to malls and they were kind of just dressed up in this wacky way. I've seen juggalos at Barnes & Noble. I've seen furries at breweries. I've seen people cosplaying as anime characters at the mall. Why? I don't know, but if that's something that makes them feel good and that they feel comfortable exercising their First Amendment right, then by all means, go ahead, man or girl or other. I'm trying to be inclusive, so y'all be expressive. You know, you don't have to wear the same Under Armour shirt and basketball shorts every time you go out. You know, make it a little bit fun, right? I know you're just going to the gas station. Maybe you could just wear some PJs to the gas station. But if you're like going to the mall, kind of flaunt your stuff, man. Kind of make it a little bit bigger than it's supposed to be. Get with your friends and like, oh, today let's go dress up in cottagecore and go to the mall for no reason, and we'll just go to Hot Topic and confuse the shit out of the Hot Topic people because we're in cottagecore. Or even like game night, you going out with the boys and you decide to wear suits because that's something cool that you guys like doing. Kind of reminds me of like wearing suits to the Minions or something. But if it's you and you feel comfortable with it and you can feel proud of it, by all means. Why would you want to be somebody that you're not? Why would you want to be somebody that you're ashamed of? Be proud of yourself. You could even take it to a point where it's like, oh, I'm going to make my avatar in this game and I want to try to recreate that outfit or something. Because I guarantee you, if it's in a game, okay, don't quote me on that. if you can make it in a game, there's a good chance you probably will be able to make it in real life. Even if it's not fully human, I'm sure you could incorporate some of those things into your real life outfits or your real life loadout, right? Yeah, just be a little bit expressive. If you can spend 40 hours creating one avatar that's gonna be your main in a Dark Souls game, well, maybe not Dark Souls. Dark Souls isn't really that realistic or practical to be recreating in real life, but I don't know, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Tony Hawk's Underground, Tony Hawk American Wasteland. If you can create it in there, chances are you can create it in real life. You have way more possibilities in real life, whether it's like, oh, they only have this shirt in this color, how can you make it a different color, right? Kind of push the limits and kind of see what you can get away with real life. If you start getting negative reactions, take those into account and like ask yourself, is this negative reaction really bringing me down? Or it's like the whole cringe versus society thing. How much is too much when it comes to society and self-expression? Free will is a powerful thing, and if we use it to our advantage, we will not only be proud of ourselves, you can live a happier life if you dress yourself the way you really wanted to instead of the way you think you're supposed to be. Within reason, okay? Maybe I'll do a video one of these days about maybe expanding more on this. I don't know, I kind of went over everything, I feel like, I think. But yeah, that's just kind of what I think. That's kind of, I've been wondering for a long time why people will spend forever working on their avatar, but then in real life it seems like they just threw something on, or they just don't care about their image. I don't know, am I in the wrong here? I feel like, yeah, some people have limitations. Some people have limitations that are way out of their control, but so do video games. Video games have a lot of limitations. And even if it's just a color scheme, we can still dress ourselves and make ourselves look however we want, right? Like, I'm a grown man with a ponytail. I think it's cool. That's about it.
Hey, congrats, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you want to hear more of this, if you want to see more of this, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, tell me what you thought about it. Let me know what your thoughts on this are. And I also want to apologize for the change in audio quality. I'm not really good at audio processing, so I hope it gets better in the future. But until I make another video, I'll see you around. Bye.